Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, March 18th. Sony just wrapped up their GDC panel, Innovation at PlayStation, and it's official. The PlayStation 4 Virtual Reality headset is actually coming, and it's called Project Morpheus. So what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is tell you everything about the event, who was there, what was said, everything about this device, everything that basically you need to know about Project Morpheus. So let's get started. It's at GDC. This is the Game Developers Conference. Shuhei Yoshida took the stage, and it didn't take long for him to pretty much say the next innovation at PlayStation is going to be virtual reality. And the conference basically started off with him not showing the device at all, not actually talking about Project Morpheus, but more so showing prototypes of the device and what Sony did, on the road to it. So apparently they've been working on this technology for a few years now. They showed a few prototypes where PlayStation Move was duct taped to a prototype display. Of course, PlayStation Move is going to play a key role in this thing. Not a super key role, but obviously they have that technology, they have those assets, so of course they're going to apply them to their current project. Now, during the whole event, there was pretty much a little podium and a little black cloth, hovering over something, and, we pretty much all knew they're going to take off that cloth, and there's the actual prototype, and that's exactly what happened. So they took off the prototype, and they revealed Project Morpheus. I'm sure post-editing, I'm showing you these pictures over my face or something. You don't want to just look at me talk. I'll show you some pictures, which are sourced probably from The Verge or IGN. So there's the device. You're looking at it right now, most likely, and that's it right now, though. That's, they're saying Project Morpheus. I think a key thing that we can take away from this conference is that they're calling it Project Morpheus because this is a long ways off. In fact, somebody asked, why is Sony showing this at GDC and they're not saving it for E3 or something? They specifically wanted to show the virtual reality technology at GDC because it's the Game Developers Conference. They want to show it to game developers. They want game developers to jump into their VR program and to start, for Sony to start building relationships with developers to start getting games actually being developed. From what, I think it's very easy to say right now that this technology is probably still a long way off. To actually having a price, actually having this device in our house, it's probably not even going to be ready by 2014. This isn't even a final product name, so more than likely this thing is going to be not ready for a while. Now, the conference was, of course, filled with a lot of, PR talk. Shuhei Yoshida, Anton Mikhailov, and Richard Marks, they were all there. Those are the three gentlemen talking. And, they said standard stuff like, this is the future, this is, we're trying to innovate, this is only the beginning, and blah. I'm not going to bore you with that stuff. Let's talk about the actual device and things with, hard evidence of what we actually know. Now, I totally wrote, most of the info on my phone, because it's a lot to take in, but let me feed you some of the key facts about this headset. The current specifications, which these are subject to change, is what Sony's saying, because again, Project Morpheus, this is not in no way, shape, or form the final thing, but it's got a 1080p display, 90 plus degree field of view, 15mm eye relief, positional and rotational head tracking, 1000 hertz, full 360 degrees, supports forward prediction, DualShock 4, and PlayStation Move with the with the PlayStation camera. Those are sort of some of the inputs that this headset will support, and more than likely you'll be using. The audio jack on the headset is to plug in your own headphones, because clearly you can see there are no headphones on this device. Jeff Keighley was quoted as saying that developers that have used Project Morpheus tell him that the fidelity and image quality is far superior to the current Oculus Rift. But of course, more than likely, newer iterations of the Oculus Rift that are coming out are probably going to top this, or certainly match it. Possibly, again, PC's like a changing environment, and Oculus is doing great things. So, we don't want to talk about direct comparisons just yet. But that's what Jeff Keighley's saying. Eve Valkyrie, which is something that was an Oculus Rift exclusive, it was sort of Oculus was demoing that. That's going to be on PlayStation VR, so we'll be seeing that too, and we'll see some, journalists will probably try that and tell us about it. A special build of Thief was demoed there as well, not the whole game, but certain sections of the game Thief that was recently released. That's working on Project Morpheus right now. And price and release date. Of course, we definitely don't have those, but Sony is saying as soon as possible and as low as possible. But, So at a certain point, journalists were allowed to ask questions for Shuhei, Anton, and Richard Marks. So I'm just going to read those right back to you of what was asked and Sony's answer. Is there any option to get your feet in there so you can move around? The answer is we're researching. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Have you let your kids or let any kids try the device? Any recommended ages? We've had young people try it and they've been very excited by it. I'm wondering why the name Project Morpheus. And the answer is, well, we decided on that name last week. It was decided because Morpheus is the god of dreams. Not a Matrix reference. Because, of course, there's probably plenty of jokes in the comments already about it being called Project Morpheus. On the list of content and tool partners, there were many involved in 3D. Can you comment in the specific role that you see 3D playing with Project Morpheus? Answer, it's different than 3D cinema. This is fundamentally different because we're correctly rendering the view of each eye. The experience is different than 3D TV. Some of the tools will overlap, especially the authoring tools will be useful for VR rendering. What do you guys see for VR for school systems? Do you see this project being used for education? One of the great things about consumer electronics is affordability. There's great work now by USC using VR for PTSD treatment. Our hardware will be useful for those efforts too. Currently, our experience with NASA has been positive. Seems like Project Morpheus works in conjunction with the PlayStation Move. Is the next step in the process to work on haptic responses? I think haptics would further enhance presence. We're not currently working on any specialized VR haptic peripheral, but down the road I think haptics will be a big part of VR. Given the horsepower question, will the VR experience rendered for the PS4 be rendered slower than 2D games on the PS4? The graphics are so rich because you are immersed. You need a different kind of graphics optimization. More than likely that's Sony trying to dodge the question, but certainly we will probably see downgrade for this device to operate perfectly if we want, high frame rate and low latency. Are you looking into eye tracking? Yes. How many units do you plan people to have? Right now, it's one per PS4. Will it support PC? HMZ series was popular among PC gamers because it was HDMI. Do you see a future where it could go beyond the console world? We're not discussing product decisions today. And multiple times throughout the conference, Sony reiterated this Project Morpheus is only for PlayStation 4 right now. Are you working with Oculus or other makers to sync APIs? I think now it's all just in spirit. There isn't any standardization yet. When will the unit come out? As soon as possible. Is it wired? Current prototype is wired 5 meters. We're investigating other solutions. Obviously, everyone wants it to be wireless. That was about it for the Q&A. Sony also showed a little picture of all the developers currently working with VR, which, some usual suspects there. Epic Games, Crytek's on there, Unity. Good stuff, but again, that's why they're bringing this thing at GDC, and that's why it's so early on, and why you might not be seeing this till 2015, is because Sony wants to cooperate with developers now and really start fundamentally working to build this thing. It seems like Sony themselves are, not only are they trying to get developers on this thing, of course, but they want developer feedback, and they want developers to help shape this thing and build it, because again, too early, this thing's nowhere close to being ready. So that's about it. That's everything that we know about Project Morpheus, everything that you need to know about Project Morpheus. And again, this video is being made right after the presentation. We're going to be seeing more news about this, more details. Journalists are going to try this thing on, and we're going to get some impressions from them, and we'll certainly cover that in my later videos. But right now, I wanted to get some of the key facts out to you. And of course, this is YouTube. We got a comment section. How are you feeling about Project Morpheus? Sony's first little feet dip into the water virtual reality. Very interesting stuff. It's been rumored for a while, so now it's kind of official. And Sony, again, Sony's also mentioned about their, first-party studios. Of course, they're working on it right now. They're experimenting with it, but there's no games announced. Nothing like that. Sony London's working on something, a little tech demo, but again, we don't know hardly anything yet. So this is going to be a long haul of news following. So I'll see you guys on Friday on Let's Talk PlayStation to cover up any details we might have missed. And, of course, weeks and weeks and months on after where we'll start covering this thing and how Sony shapes this VR. And until the actual product comes out. So thank you all for watching. See you all Friday.